Hey guys, it's Ronnie here. I am the director of customer success here at Plus This, and we want to try something new. We are all about helping you guys to make the most out of your automation, and that means more than just answering the questions that you ask us. A lot of times we can be very reactive in our approach. So, try to be a little bit more proactive, we are actually going to start this new series where once a month we are going to build and record a campaign strategy that you can actually implement in your business. We want to help you guys to utilize Plus This more so that you get the best out of it, right? That's ultimately the goal here. So beyond the what you have at your disposal already with our support staff, with being able to reach out to us and ask us questions, our user group, and the videos and everything that we've recorded at the moment, we want to continue to expand upon that. So today, I'm actually going to be walking you through a campaign strategy that we believe most businesses should actually employ. So I've been thinking a lot over the last few months about the customer journey, and the customer journey is very important in anybody's business. It's what you do to, or it's the experience that they have from the moment that they sign up for your lead gen, whether they sign up for your product, purchase something, to um, everything in between, right? Like what emails did they get? Who did they talk to? How was that interaction? What was the fulfillment like, etc. But that customer journey has to start somewhere. And today's campaign is actually going to show you how to make sure that you have collected all the information that you need to make sure that that customer journey starts off on the right foot. We're actually going to be utilizing 5 different Plus This features today, and I'm going to be showing you how those can be incorporated into your onboarding campaigns to make sure that this experience is as strong as possible. From there, obviously everybody's onboarding and welcome campaigns are going to be a lot different. So I'm also going to show you how you can customize that and branch off to start creating your own thing. Now, Plus This actually integrates with 5 different platforms: Infusionsoft, Ontraport, Drip, HubSpot, and ActiveCampaign. And while we can definitely walk you through all 5 of them, today's video is going to be walking through it at an Infusionsoft level. In future videos, as we're sending these out and creating more, you'll see examples throughout all 5 of the different platforms. However, the overall strategy is basically the same. If you have a proper understanding of campaigns and workflows or automations, depending on which platform you're in, they all call them something different, you'll be able to translate this over. However, please always feel free to reach out to our success team at Plus This. You can either email us, help@plusthis.com, or simply go to the support center, help.plusthis.com, and we'll be able to answer any questions that you got there. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by showing you an overview of the campaign that we're going to be building. Now you'll see it's very basic. At a high level, there's only 3 pieces here, right? And that's because I'm just showing you the introduction part of this. Like we talked about, from there, it branches off in any number of different ways for you and your business. But we're going to have 2 entry points here. We're going to have a web form being submitted. So if I fill out a form with my name, email, and any other information to get into your funnel and into your marketing automation platform, that's one entry point. The other entry point is Facebook lead ads. For those of you who don't know what a lead ad is, it is Facebook's form of advertising where, rather than using a redirect to your landing pages, it's a form directly in Facebook, so there's no redirect. And Facebook actually uses the information that they've already got collected in that form, so it fills out automatically. The process is great, it's streamlined, beautiful. But the problem is that information all exists inside of Facebook. We're going to use a Plus This feature to actually automatically pull it over into your marketing automation platform. Now let me jump into the sequence right here. This is where a lot of the action's actually going to start taking place. You'll see at the beginning, we like to keep a very clean CRM, which means we apply tags when we're doing anything inside of our platform so that we know where our contacts exists inside of our marketing automation platform, what they have or haven't gone through, which campaigns they've been through, etc. This is not a requirement, but we do recommend you keep some form of cleanup there so that you can kind of see where your customers are going as well. Then you'll see that we're going to run 3 other Plus This features back to back. A contact validator to ensure that we have the correct email and phone number. We're going to format the text fields to make sure that our name fields are properly capitalized. And we're going to be removing them from the Facebook lead ad that they signed on with and adding them onto another one. From there, your onboarding marketing is up to you. You can have a welcome email. You can have a series of emails. You can follow up with SMS. At that point, it's on you and your business how you want to actually engage with your customers. And like I said, that can go so many different ways. That's not really what I'm going to be focusing on today, but rather just ensuring that we have the appropriate contact information to ensure that later down the road, we can be engaging with them on a much, much stronger level. So let's go ahead and start building some of this out. We are going to first build a Facebook lead ad integration. So if I go over to my feature library, I can type in Facebook here and pull up my lead triggers. Now, we're going to go ahead and select our integrations, but once we do, you'll see Plus This is actually preparing that feature. Now, this is probably going to be the easiest feature that you can build inside of Plus This. It's so simple. It's just a matter of actually doing it. We're going to select the Facebook page that we want to work with, and we're going to select the form that we would like to integrate with. Now, these are just examples here. Please don't utilize these naming conventions. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just selecting my Facebook page and the lead ad form I want to integrate with. And then which tag should be applied when they complete the lead ad form in question. So this is how we're actually going to kick off said campaign when they submit a lead ad form. So again, I'm going to select a completely arbitrary tag here. And it's just because I'm not actually going to be running this specific campaign. But you should actually have a tag that makes sense for your campaign. If you don't have a tag already created, you can also select this plus button off on the right-hand side and create the tag right here inside of Plus This. Then we're going to name our feature. Let's go ahead and make sure that we are naming it something that makes sense for what this feature is doing and the campaign that it's going to be running. So you'll see I've named it Onboarding Campaign Facebook Lead Ad. Now, if I ever need to come back and see what this feature is doing, I'll know exactly what it's doing. Once I save it, you'll see that this feature is now just working. I don't actually have to integrate it. I don't have to copy and paste anything. It just goes. So the moment that they submit that lead ad form, that contact is going to be exported from Facebook, imported into my marketing automation platform, and we're going to apply a tag so that we can start this onboarding campaign. That tag is what's going to be triggering this right here. Now, let's go ahead and start building out our contact validator. I'm going to delete this feature so it doesn't bog down my own personal Plus This account, but we are now going to jump into our contact validator and selecting my integrations. And now I've got 2 different options here. I've got my email validation as well as my phone validation. Now, we're going to select the field that we're going to be validating. So I'm going to select the email field, of course. And we have the option to update an email address with the suggested update. So when we connect to our Mailgun accounts, Mailgun actually provides suggestions for improper or invalid email addresses. So for example, if Gmail is misspelled, it doesn't necessarily mean the beginning part was incorrect. It could just mean that they spelled Gmail, G-M-I-A-L, for example, and Mailgun takes care of that and automatically suggests a replacement. If you're okay with just updating these automatically, turn that on. I would also suggest, however, tagging them if you do this so you can go back in and verify. Just because it auto-suggests doesn't mean it's always correct, so you can still go in and have some form of verification there. You can also apply a tag if the field is blank, invalid, or valid. So if you want to prevent this onboarding sequence from starting, if it's an invalid email address, you can. Now you can prevent emails from being sent out if you don't have a proper email address. For the phone validation, we're going to do the same. We're going to select our phone field. And we have a different option here where we can actually attempt different default country codes. So how many of you actually enter in the country code when you're filling out a form that asks for your email address? I don't know about you, but I never put +1 before my phone number. But we can go ahead and automatically track and check our +1 by default to ensure that this is actually a proper phone number. If you're in a different country, you can select any other country code that you'd like, and you can also actually run it across several. We, for example, have a lot of customers in the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, Brazil, etc. So if you know where the majority of your customers are coming from, you can set defaults to check across, just in case that they don't enter those in. You can also update a phone number with the fully qualified format. So again, we'll check it across the +1, but if you want that +1 added to the field, we'll update that for you if you turn this on. Again, you can apply a tag if it's blank, invalid, or valid. But this also has an additional field here where we'll check if it's a mobile number, a VoIP number, or a landline. If you're running a lot of text message marketing, then you don't want to be sending text to your landline. Text can start to rack up in expenses, and you don't want to be wasting that texting a number that can't actually receive text messages. So this can then make sure that you either follow up to get a proper mobile number, or you simply just don't text those phone numbers, and you can exclude them from the SMS campaigns that you're running. Then again, we'll name this feature here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my contact or my onboarding campaign, and this is going to be for contact validation, and I save. Now this is going to be a little different than the lead ad because I actually have to implement this into my campaign or workflow. So we'll have a feature URL here. You simply copy this. Now for all of our features, we have implementation instructions in case you forget how to do this, but you'll simply move over to our marketing automation platform. I'll go into the HTTP post and paste it right here, and then mark it as ready. Now, any contact who hits this HTTP post will have that feature ran for that contact. In our other platforms, they are called webhooks. Infusionsoft is the only one that calls them an HTTP post. The other platforms will call this a webhook. So for those of you who are on Entreport, Drip, HubSpot, or ActiveCampaign, don't be looking for HTTP posts, but a webhook is going to be the same way. You simply copy that feature URL and paste it into the webhook. Now we'll go back to format our text field. So I'm going to jump back over to +this. Again, deleting this feature, but I'm going to go over to our feature library and look for format text fields. And now I can go ahead and select which fields I want to format. Being that this is my onboarding campaign, I'm going to be formatting the first and last name fields. And I have a couple of different ways I can format it. For me, I want to capitalize the first letter of each word. I can also just capitalize the first letter only, but for last names that are two separate words, that can then become a little tricky there. So we want to format the first letter of each word. You can also lowercase everything or uppercase everything if you have any niche instances that those would fit under. But again, for this purpose, capitalizing the first letter of each word. Name my feature. And you'll see that building out the +this features is actually fairly simple, so you shouldn't be intimidated by it. And we save it, and I've got another feature URL. Just like before, I'll copy it, come over, and paste it in here. Now, any contact who hits this HTTP post or webhook will then have those fields formatted. I can then, now I'm going to run my Facebook custom audience feature. So I'm going to jump back over to +this, go to my feature library, pull up my Facebook features, and I'm going to go to Facebook audience triggers. I'll select my integrations there. Now, I might have several ad accounts. So I have a drop down to select my ad account. And then I have two different options here. Which Facebook audience I would like to add this contact to, and which ones I would like to remove them from. So at the very least, you want to remove them from the audience in which they're receiving that lead ad. Being that they've already opted in through the lead ad or opted in through some other means, I no longer have to be advertising that same lead ad form to them. This is a way to keep it clean, right? As I'm moving through your funnel, it makes sense that I'm not seeing the same advertisement if I already purchased it, if I already downloaded the PDF, or whatever other offering that you are displaying to them. But I might have a separate offer that I want to add as well. For example, plus this, our original lead ad might be something like offering the free PDF download of our Campaigns of the Titans. After you've downloaded that, I don't need to download it again. So we actually move them into a different custom audience where now they'll see an advertisement for our free trial. Hey, start a free 30-day trial with plus this. So I'll actually start displaying that so you can add them to that second audience. And again, after they start the free trial, I can have a portion of this onboarding campaign then remove them from that audience as well. So you have a way to dynamically move your contacts through different custom audiences depending on how they are interacting with you in your marketing automation platform. I can now find these records through email address and phone number, and then I'll name this field, or I'll name this feature. This implementation side is going to be just a little bit different. For the purposes of this video, we are still going to be copying this feature URL and pasting it in our HTTP post or webhook. But you have a different way that you can run these as well. You'll see I have this run this feature now option. So if I just want to mass add everybody to a custom audience, I can run this on my entire database. I can also do it on a subset if I want to select a specific tag. So everybody that has a certain tag, I can run as well. For example, current customers might be in my database same as people who are not current customers. Maybe I only want to add everybody who is not currently a customer to this custom audience. I can do that if I've got those tagged appropriately, and then I can simply run this feature now. However, being that I'm adding this to my onboarding campaign, we're copying this feature URL and pasting it in our HTTP post or webhook. If I jump back over to my campaign, you'll see now I have implemented 3 different HTTP posts or webhooks that are going to help me keep a much cleaner list for my onboarding sequence. I then now can send a welcome email that includes merge fields with their first and last name and be completely confident that the casing is correct. If I want to include things, I also know that that email will get to them, being that I've validated that email address. So I am not hurting my deliverability by emailing an address that doesn't exist. So now this sequence I can be very confident is running appropriately, and my Facebook ads are running in tandem with that as well. We do have another feature that is not going to be built into this campaign, but can be ran and should be ran in tandem with it also for an onboarding sequence. And that's going to be our contact locator feature. So if I go back over to my feature library and pull up contact locator, I'll start building this out. Now the contact locator feature can actually pull a lot of different information, and it's all going to be based on their IP address. Now, if you'd like to store that IP address, we give you that option. You simply select the custom field that you would like to store that in. However, you don't have to store everything here. I recommend typically storing at least the time zone and the country, maybe even the state. But the city becomes a little less necessary, or the postal code. And the reason being is because we're pulling this information based on their IP address. So this is not a way to get down to like what their street address is specifically. Their IP address might actually be in a different city than they are. For example, we're in Chandler, Arizona, and our IP address could potentially be in Scottsdale, Arizona. So it's not going to show you that specific. However, I still am in Arizona. I'm still in the same time zone. I'm still in the same country. So those things are much more relevant to the type of marketing that I might run. For example, if I want to send marketing that's maybe in different languages. Like if I'm promoting a campaign to France and I want to actually send that in French. And if, in America, I want to send that in English. And Mexico, I want to send that in Spanish. I can also do it based on time zones. So if I want to send an email out at 9 a.m., I can be sending that out and make sure that it's going to each of these people based on their own particular time zones. A number of different use cases like that. So I can collect this information. You'll have some additional options down at the bottom for more advanced options, but they're not necessary for this particular sequence. But if you have questions on those, again, please reach out to our success team here at Plus This by going to help.plusthis.com. Now I'm going to name my feature, and this is why it's not going to be inside of our actual campaign workflow or automation, is because this is going to be embedded on the thank you page. So after they've filled out the form and opted in, the thank you page is going to have this code embedded on it. You can simply click this blue button to copy that code, and then you paste it in an embed snippet on your website. Now, that might be different depending on the web builder you're using, whether that's WordPress or any others, or if it's a thank you page, etc. So there's a number of different ways that you can do this, but I'm using Infusionsoft's thank you page or Entreport, Strips, HubSpots, etc. I simply copy this code and paste it on there. And then after they fill out that form, this code is going to send that information over to your marketing automation platform and store it in those custom fields. So you won't see this as part of the campaign or workflow that you're building out. However, this is absolutely something that you should be building into your onboarding sequence. So you're collecting as much information as you can about your contacts. And now you can be a lot more personal with your marketing and your outreach and your onboarding and any other material that you want to be sending out to your contacts. Now from there, like I said, the rest of this campaign is up to you. This is just one piece of your brilliant onboarding sequence. So make sure that you're going in there and you're utilizing this information. But that's 5 plus this features that can be utilized in any business's onboarding sequence to help you to create a much better customer journey for your contacts. If you have any questions about this, please reach out to help.plusthis.com. We're going to be sending out videos and campaigns like this, ideally monthly. So be on the lookout for those. But if you want to see other ideas to incorporate Plus This features into your business, go to our implementation guides on our website. Under resources, you can go to implementation, and we have videos walking through several different strategies, including expiring offers, webinars, video triggers, Facebook, etc., and showing you how to build out the Plus This features and the strategies behind them. I'll be adding this video to this page as well, and we'll be building this out on a monthly basis. But if you have any suggestions on campaigns that you would like to see us do in a future installment of this, please let us know. We'd like to take your suggestions, and we'd like to make this relevant to our contacts. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I hope you guys all learned something today. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, help.plusthis.com. You guys have a good one.